Married at First Sight, season 17, episode 8. So this is the episode where the couples are supposed to move in together, but dang, half of the couples are tripping and don't want to do it. And now that these relationships are in complete shambles, the experts came rolling in with their dustpans and brooms trying to clean them up. Hi, I'm Tamara, and this is Tamara Lynette Tells. So lately, I've been starting my videos by talking about Lauren and Orion because they are a hot mess. But this week, let's start on a different hot mess of a couple, Emily and Brennan. So Emily and Mr. Personality sit down at their new place to talk, right? And Brennan says, "I'm excited to move in together." Then in the next breath says, "Well, I have a really busy work week coming up, so maybe we should push off moving in together until the end of the week." Say what now? Excuse you, mister? Say one thing, but do the opposite? Where did that come from? To the confessional cam, he said, "We've been together nonstop for 24/7, and I'm starting to get drained, so I need some time away to think about how I'm feeling." Now, early on in the season, I said that I feel like he says nice things in front of the camera about Emily, but behind the scenes, I don't think he's really feeling her. And with every episode, it's becoming more and more clear that he's tripping. He is not feeling that girl and doesn't know how to handle it. So Brennan is very aware of the camera, and his attempt at trying to protect himself, or maybe his reputation, whatever that may be, comes across as being like hella fake. Like, dude, we see you, and the only person impressed with you right now is you. So they spent their little time apart, and then Emily went to his apartment for a tour, and then just when I thought his personality couldn't be any more bland, the man done proved me wrong. He was giving no sign of life. "This is my kitchen. I really like how much space I have for things. Over here, I try to keep things organized. My favorite color is bland with a splash of blah." I mean, dude was giving Emily nothing to work with. Just dry bread with bologna. No mustard, mayo, pickles, hot sauce, no nothing. All he was offering was a dry sandwich where the bread gets stuck at the roof of your mouth. So you spend most of your effort, trying to unstick the bread with your tongue. Yeah, he was dry like that. So Emily said that his energy was awkward. Like, dude, you're acting weird. So now that things are awkward between them, Brennan has completely shut down, and they haven't even moved into the apartment. So Pastor Cal comes rolling up 6 days late and $1 short, and Brennan says he doesn't have romantic connection with Emily. "But I don't know why, because you guys gave me the greatest girl. I just don't know what to do." Speak your truth. You don't like her. It was fun to party with her in Cancun, but now that you're back to life, back to reality, you are ready to toss her aside so you can hit the streets and hop back on them dating apps. You ain't fooling nobody, sir. I see you. So Pastor Cal is blabbering on about how he's sabotaging their relationship, and he can't expect this experience to be like any other relationship he's had in the past. And Brennan was not in an agreement, but at the same time looking like he's trying to remember his OkCupid password. He wasn't studying Pastor Cal. Pastor Cal, this man cannot sabotage a relationship that he was never in. Now, based on how Clara and Lauren described him on last week's Afterparty, where they said Brennan regularly laughs at Emily, he's like looking down at her. It doesn't sound like he respects Emily, let alone considers himself her husband. Pastor Cal asked Brennan if there's anything that he is not attracted to about Emily, and he said, "I don't want to do that." He said he doesn't want to answer that question because he's very aware of how he comes across on TV. Are you really, though? Because you seem very uptight and not too kind, sir. Now, I wish Pastor Cal hadn't asked him that in front of Emily if he's not attracted to her or whatever, because if his answer is no, that's usually the death of these relationships. So I'm not mad at Brennan for not wanting to say out loud that he doesn't find her attractive. However, I don't think that Brennan handled that question very well. If you're not going to speak your truth, then lie. Instead say, "I'm very attracted to Emily. Lack of attraction is not a problem in this marriage." No siree. But by refusing to answer the question one way or another, he's still saying that he's not attracted to her. So after Pastor Cal left, Emily straight up asked him if he's attracted to her. He refused to answer the question, claims he's trying to protect her, and said he would never tell anyone he's not attracted to them. But you kind of are, sir. And that's exactly how Emily took his non-answer. To the confessional cam, she's crying and disappointed, but says she's still in it. Why? At this point, he is not giving you anything to work with. No conversation, no husband vibes, and definitely no personality. On Afterparty, Emily said that the last night before the honeymoon ended, all of the couples were at a club and she and Brennan were making out most of the night. Then she asked him, when are we going to have sex? He said, when you're in my circle of trust, which sent them into an argument. Brennan, you and your circle of trust, this ain't Meet the Fockers. If you have this whole 16-day screening process that has to take place before you can trust someone, you are on the wrong show. Married at First Sight might as well be called Trust at First Sight. Now, on Afterparty, Emily said she had 3 questions for Brennan. Do you find me attractive? Why did you sign up for this? And do you like me? Keisha asked, what did he say? Emily said his response was, I don't know. Come on, Brennan. Now, Emily said he never tells her that she looks good or is pretty, but he compliments the other wives all the time. That's just rude. Brennan, I don't know who you're trying to portray on TV, but it's just giving us dry roasted jerk. Emily may have her issues, but your fakeness is stealing the show, sir. Lauren and Orion. These two seem to have a permanent seat on the struggle bus. Orion was all over the place. Let's do a reset. Let's get divorced. Let's talk about it. Let's no longer be bonnet buddies. Bonnet buddies. He can't make up his mind, and I'm disappointed that Lauren strapped on her seatbelt and hopped on the Orion cultural roller coaster. So to the confessional cam, Lauren said that on the airplane, Orion told her that he would like a full reset. Like to just start all over again. So they go to their shared apartment to check it out, but apparently they decided they should take some time apart to work on their reset alone. I mean, what is happening? How is this a reset if we're not setting down our bags and making memories in a free apartment together? So after day 1 of their little reset, Orion texted Lauren and said he doesn't want to continue the marriage, but wants to finish the process. Okay, Alyssa from season 14, or as I like to call her, Hostage, wanting to split custody of the apartment so they can live in a better place than where they live now and still be on TV. This is probably why he's so conflicted. He really doesn't want to be married to Lauren, but he really wants to ride the season out so he can be on TV and get his 15 minutes of fame. Now, they met with Dr. Pia, and she was pushing hard for them to stay together. Like, a little too hard if you ask me. Now, on Afterparty, Orion said that their conversation lasted 4 hours. So Dr. Pia asked if they have met up to talk, and Orion said their schedules didn't align or something like that. And Lauren was like, that's not true. He asked if I could meet up. I gave him my availability, and that was that. No response. Okay, Orion, you got a little touch of compulsive lying going on over there, but it gets worse. Lauren says that it's confusing to her that he asked for a reset and wanted to focus on the future, then the next day asked for a divorce. He said, well, you see, what I had meant is I want to focus on the future, but not specifically our future, just the future as a whole, like the world's future, like the future of aerospace and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so he didn't say the last part, but he had the nerve to say that he meant the future as a whole. So basically saying that this statement had nothing to do with their relationship. Dude, you lied like a 6-year-old. You either need to step up your lie game or stop being afraid of speaking your truth. Anyway, he told Dr. Pia that after the honeymoon, he was just heartbroken and he's not sure if he's forgiven Lauren for what happened. Dr. Pia said, what is up with you being so rigid? Before we could hear an answer, Lauren hopped in and asked, do you just not want to be with me? You won't hurt my feelings. And he said, after everything that took place, I lost all romantic interest. Dr. Pia was like, Orion, how does control show up for you in your life? I was like, good one, Dr. Pia. But then I was like, control though? I see this more of like running away from his problems and not willing to push through tough conversations. But girl, you done put control out there, so let's roll with it. So he said, I'm not trying to control things by asking for a divorce. She said, oh, yes, you are. Things are uncomfortable for you, so you want to remove yourself from the situation. But in the end, he told Lauren that he still wants a divorce. So that was that. So Lauren said, I know that with marriage, trouble can come and I have to forgive and extend grace. I can't wait to be in a marriage where grace and forgiveness are forgiven. Boom, in your face. In other words, she's saying, suck it, Orion. I never wanted your stank butt anyway. To the confessional cam, she said, this whole thing is stupid. And we are both robbed of an opportunity because of his unwillingness to forgive. And that's annoying. This is annoying because they never should have gone down those deep conversation roads so soon in their relationship in the first place. They were in paradise, but they treated it like a corner liquor store. Like they're standing in a parking lot, talking, lying, and fighting. By now, this show should have a little handbook for these couples on how to approach these relationships, because there are certain things that shouldn't happen on the honeymoon. Like, don't tell your spouse you're not attracted to him or her. That never ends well. Don't talk about how you two are going to handle your living situation after decision day, because odds are in favor of you never making it that far, so don't risk having an argument about it. I'm pretty sure we can all add to the list of things not to do. In any case, I really had super high hopes for this couple for like 2 episodes anyway. I was hopeful that we would get to see, at the very least, a great friendship develop. But they crashed and burned in almost record speed over stuff that wasn't even necessary to talk about in order to build a relationship. This is so crazy. So when Orion was on Afterparty, I just about fell out of my chair when Keisha asked him, in hindsight, what would you have done differently? Get this. He said, honestly, I should have moved in. That would have given us the time we needed to work on things. Hello, you think? I mean, that's such a frustrating answer to hear, but they were going to continue to struggle anyway. Even though I thought they were a good match in the beginning, they weren't. Their communication styles are different. She brings up controversial topics, and he wasn't ready to be with a sister who lays down her edges and wears a bonnet to bed. Bonnet buddy! Claire and Cameron. So at this point, Claire seems to be tolerating Cameron. I think in an Olaf kind of way. Like, he's a little awkward, outspoken, goofy, and fluffy. So when they settled into their apartment and changed into comfy clothes, Claire was like, wow, your shorts are short. And he was serving up a lot of legs. I think because he's so tall, those shorts would normally hit a little above the knee. But for him, they were like booty shorts. So when Claire went to check out his living situation, it looks like he's living in someone's basement. I don't recall what he said his living situation is earlier in the season, if he did say. Anyway, she tried a rice cake with Vegemite on it. It's a fermented something that's popular in New Zealand. She hated it. In the end, Claire said she'd never stay at his place because of all the dead spiders in his spider trap. So they met with Dr. Pepper, and we learned that she is Catholic and he's not religious at all. Thank you very much for ignoring their religious beliefs again, experts. So he said he got kicked out of a Christian church and now feels kids should be raised with the understanding that there is a gray area when it comes to religion. So Claire totally disagrees. And of course, it only makes an awkward match like these two even worse. So they're struggling with Claire not being affectionate towards Cameron. She claims this is something she's slow with normally. Yeah, normally when she's not attracted to a guy. So for the time being, they seem to be getting along. It feels like they've figured out how to make it through this situation, but Claire is not trying to climb that kiwi. She's not attracted to him, and I don't know if he's charming enough to win her over. Becca and Austin. Now, Austin actually lives in a house. While he was giving Becca a tour, they talked about where they will live after decision day. He said that they should live in their own places until their leases are up. Becca was like, oh, I'm month to month. And he was like, damn, I mean, that's great. Austin said, well, I live with roommates, so I don't know why you would want to move in here. She said, well, after your lease is up, you can move into my place until we can afford to buy something. Now, like I said earlier, talking about what your living situation is going to be after decision day this early is not a good idea. I still sense a reluctance from Austin, but we'll see how their relationship plays out now that they're in the apartment. So Pastor Cal asked them if they consummated their marriage. They said no. Austin said he wants to get to know her better and that he's always been that way. Maybe so, but in this case, I don't think it's really up to you, sir. Emily told her friends on her wedding day that you won't be getting any, at least not until she heals from her surgery. Y'all are on her timeline, not yours. Now, it's funny because after they answered that question, I felt like what Pastor Cal said afterwards was a message to us fans who criticize them for pushing these couples to have sex. He said, look, the only reason we asked the question is to get a barometer on how things are going. I don't know about that. I feel like y'all have been up in the bedroom Kool-Aid when these couples have said they haven't had sex a week or two before decision day. You guys be looking sideways at these folks. Anyway, Austin seemed concerned that they are not on the same page with religion, and Pastor Cal made a feeble attempt to convince him otherwise. He asked Austin, what are your religious beliefs based on? And Austin said, love. And he asked Becca, how do you approach life? What are your beliefs based on? And she sputtered off some nice adjectives, then threw love in there too. And Pastor Cal was like, see, both of your beliefs have the same basis. Pastor Cal, if you don't stop playing in my face, that is a feeble argument, sir. There are multiple belief systems that are based on love that totally conflict with each other. They're gonna need more to work with than that. Becca got upset during that conversation because she's been told by friends and men she's dated who are Christian that she's damned to hell for not being Christian. Now, Pastor Cal basically said those are old school beliefs, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, I believe Austin is slowly leaving a crumb trail as to reasons why he might not be as into Becca as she is into him. She doesn't really want kids, but is willing to have one if he wants one. However, given her medical issue of endometriosis, there's a possibility of her not being able to have kids, even though no one has said that out loud. Plus, Austin's not thrilled with their religious differences, and we're still not clear how he feels about the assistance she's going to need from him and extra patience due to her chronic illnesses. But in any case, this is the only couple that is left standing at the moment that has any inkling of a chance of making it. So now we're down to 2.5 couples. Becca and Austin, Claire and Cameron, and Emily with half of Brennan's left pinky toast still in this relationship. I think those two are the ones who are going to crash and burn next. So what do you think about Orion ending things with Lauren so soon? And do you think Brennan will come around? Let me know what you think in the comments. In the meantime, that's all I have for now. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video.